So I'm bored. I have nothing to do. So if I come down here and tell a story to further waste my time than I was already doing this afternoon. So somehow I found a situation I haven't talked about yet, and it involved my best friend Alyssa. And it's one of those things where she mentioned it twice. Like, she brings it up from time to time randomly. But one time she brought it in the comment section of one of my TikToks, and then I referenced it myself a few days ago. And either she wants me to tell the story on TikTok, or I'm terrible at reading social cues. One of the two. So this involved me and her in Six Flags, and as soon as I say that, she knows where this is going. So, for our senior trip, we had to raise a bunch of money, and we went to Six Flags. That was fun, going on a bunch of rides, hang out with your friends before you graduate and go up into the life and learn that life is a complete disappointment that screws you over. Anyway, one of the rides, is the Mr. Freeze ride. Now, I don't know if they had this at every Six Flags, but for this Six Flags in St. Louis, there is. And I went on this ride once before. I think it was 4 years ago when I went to Six Flags the first time. Now, I hated the ride. Okay, I hated it with a passion. My least favorite ride ever. Because if you're not used to it or never been on it, what you sit in one of the carts, right? And then it shoots you backwards. And you're basically, right, so it shoots you backwards, like kind of a half pipe, how I would describe it. So you're up in the air. And the track goes up and down, so it goes horizontal, and it curves upwards. So you're facing the ground, like 50-something feet in the air, maybe higher, and then it shoots you back forwards. Yeah, terrifying. The first time I went on it was 8th grade. I thought I was gonna fall out of the cart, so I've hated it ever since. And Alyssa wanted to go on it, and I'm like, I'm not a wimp. I'm not gonna let my best friend go on something that I'm not, because other people chickened out of it. And we went with our O&M instructor because he walked us to the ride because we're both visually impaired. And we're like, come on, you want to go on it with us? And he's like, no, I'll pass. And he's like, it'll be on the 5th of never. And that's a whole other story, the 5th of never. But yeah, it was just the two of us on the ride, because at first it was a long line or something like that. But so finally we got on, and something snapped me. Like, we were seatbelted in, the bar came down, we're sitting in the car, we're about to take off, and something snapped to me. I turned to her, and I'm like, you effing B-word, how did you get me on this effing ride? And then we shot backwards, and then I proceeded to call her every name in the book. Some starting with A, some starting with B, some starting with C, and it was dreadful. I absolutely hate that ride. I was either screaming my head off like a little girl, or saying stuff that my parents wouldn't want me to be saying if they knew what happened. And she was just laughing at me like a freaking idiot, because I was in hell, because I would be completely miserable on this ride that I didn't even want to go on, but I was just going on it because I didn't want to chicken out because everyone else chickened out. And yeah, so like if I would have gone it on my own, then I wouldn't have gone it. But it's one of the things where since she suggested it, I'm like, okay, let's go on it. But if I never would have suggested to go on this ride. I hated that ride with a passion. So that's 2 times on the Mr. Freeze, 2 times hating it. I don't know why I did that to myself, but yeah, Alyssa just laughed at me the whole time, and I lost my voice kind of out the ride. I couldn't really speak, and no one found out exactly what I said to her. This is just a thing between me and her, but I get the secrets out now.